And welcome back to Lincoln High School as we continue the Holiday Classic. This matchup between the Wells Guardians and Glencoe. I'm Ben Pahl alongside Michael Abraham, and I think we're in for a good OSAA matchup.
I think so, Ben. These are two teams. One team is struggling a little bit in the early going, and Glencoe has actually put together a 1-6 record early. Wells is already at 6-1. Head coach Glenn Coblin's an old friend of mine, and Justin Cow in his third year here.
I was going to say, you mentioned a bit of a rough start for Glencoe. However, their record doesn't necessarily reflect everything they put out there. They've had some very close losses. For instance, they lost at Canby 48-42, so they played good defense in that one. It's a tough environment going at Canby. Lost 30-40 against Lake Ridge, and they beat North Medford by double digits, 54-30. So although they're 1-6, it's not like they haven't been competitive.
Absolutely, and Justin says, keep an eye on them. They play hard. They've got a little sleeve emblem that says 84-32, which means they press 84 feet for 32 minutes. So we'll get high up and down action.
I love that. I was going to ask what that meant, but
yeah, but that's what I had to ask him.
We saw earlier today in Tigard versus Newburgh. We saw a Newburgh full court press that Tigard did eventually figure out in the first quarter. Newburgh, by the way, ended up winning that game. But we are about ready to tip off. Doing the jump's going to be number 1, Autumn Hart for the for the Wells Guardians, and 23, McKenna Petrick for the Crimson Tide. We're off and running. First minute going to be out of bounds to the Guardians. And early on, we've seen some really good defense today in the previous games. I think it's whoever can keep that intensity up. It's been physical so far. Just, of course, get on the board early, but you don't have to rush anything.
Right, and I think you really want to be aware. I always tell my teams live ball turnovers is a killer in all games, but particularly in girls basketball.
And right as you say that, we have a double dribble.
Yeah, but that's a dead ball turnover. If we have a dead ball turnover where they have to inbound the ball, it's always better than giving the ball away on a steal.
You can set your defense.
Right.
Not going to lead to transition points. And the first bucket of the game, there's Helen Mildenberger, the senior.
Right out of the gate, we see Wells jumps immediately into a full court press.
First foul of the game is going to be on senior McKenna Reed, her first. Early on, it seems like Wells wants to establish their mentality as the physical team in this ball.
Right. They've got more size. And out in the 2-3 zone, I'm surprised. Glenn's usually a man-to-man guy, but 2-3 zone is a weapon if you don't have a good perimeter shooting team that you're facing. And knowing Glenn, he scouted these guys. I'm guessing he's already watched them play a couple times. In today's era, with the internet, you're watching all kinds of stuff on live stream.
Mildenberger is going to get charged with the foul. Want to highlight Brooklyn Petrick. This is why you follow your shot. She missed a 3, followed it, was there for the rebound.
Absolutely.
And her team keeps
Brooklyn's
possession.
Father's a former Major League Baseball player. Played for the White Sox organization.
I'm sure we're a lot better with him around than the White Sox are right now.
Boy, I said that to Justin, and I didn't see a big smile. I probably overstepped myself.
Foul inside. It's going to remain with the Crimson Tide.
Let's see how the baseline attack is here, what Coach Justin has. Coach Cow.
High throw, and that's going to be a turnover. Corralled by Hart of the Guardians.
And there's the 84 feet of pressure. Immediate transition. There's the live ball turnover we talked about, but they did a great job of getting back and preventing anything easy and get settled into their half-court defense.
Hart dumped it off to Reed, now with Claire Dixon. There's McKenna Reed in the corner, off the mark, rebound corralled by the Crimson Tide.
Yep. Great quick advance. Early offense against the 2-3 zone is the best attack.
And that's a really nice finish from McKenna Petrick.
And right into the press. I like that pressure a lot.
Wells does a good job breaking it. Hunter right-handed dribble down low to 11 Mildenberger. There's the finish.
We always said when we were pressing that even if they score a couple of buckets, the idea of pressure is to create tempo and get the game speed up to your level. If you think you have the better group of players, you want more possessions, and the more you're running and the more pressure you're putting on, the more possessions your team gets, even if you miss a few or you give up a few layups.
And I think that's a really good lesson. You're not going to steal the inbounds every time. You're not going to prevent pressure on the other end every time. That's not the overall. It can still overall flow very well for the defense.
And look, they're already out of their timeout and ready to go.
4-2, Wells with the early advantage. And as you were saying, it does look like Wells, they've got taller guards for sure. You can see how Glencoe adjusts to that a little bit if that's going to hamper their three-point game at all.
Yeah. Coach Coblins has him in a 1-3-1 three-quarter court press, which is designed to do that, take away that diagonal pass and force him to keep the ball on one side of the floor.
Dixon over to Hunter, back to Dixon, the lefty takes a dribble now on the right side, gives it off to Mildenberger, puts one up off the backboard, no good, she gets her own miss. Back out to Dixon now. So it's high school, but we're playing with a shot clock, Michael, and it's
nice.
I love it.
Well, it's so overdue. I watched a 5A state championship game where Willamette was playing Mercedes Russell's team, who's now playing in the WNBA, and they held the ball the entire game. And the final score was like 10-4.
That's criminal.
Yeah, it was horrible, especially when you had a player that was WNBA talent.
So long, long overdue, as you were saying. We've got a shot clock here in this tournament.
This is my 46th year of Oregon high school women's girls basketball. Spent a lot of years in college, but I've never really left my roots. My roots are here still in Oregon. I had daughters that played at Central Catholic and sons that played football and basketball at Central Catholic.
So you're probably a Rams fan, I imagine.
Yes, I am. I am. I do Ram TV for them, and I enjoy it tremendously. Our girls team has struggled a little bit, but our boys team is
not struggling much.
Champs.
Not struggling much. Remember calling them at the Les Schwab Invitational last season. Just a plethora of talent. That's a great dish inside.
Yeah, great backup. I love the interior bounce pass. Something I harp on all day long when I'm coaching. Avoid the eye-level pass into the middle.
Glencoe's going to need to find a spark here because right now they're getting beaten by off-ball movement. A lot of those back cuts are working right now for Wells. They picked it up that time and do come away with the steal. Now can they get numbers forward? And she stepped on the line.
Yeah, not really good spacing there.
Katie Lohman will be checking in for the Guardians, checking in for the Crimson Tide. Paloma Salinas Orozco.
Glencoe plays several freshmen. Coach told me that in his system he likes to play the younger players. If everything else is equal, he likes the younger players on the floor. He knows he's building for the future. It's only his third year.
And that's great for a coach if you can trust your young players to develop them. Gonna need a ref to.
Players want you to trust them, but the only way you really show them you trust them is by putting them out there and living with their mistakes.
Exactly. There's no way you can simulate it.
Yeah.
It's game experience.
You can tell them in practice how much you like the way they're playing. If they're not out on the floor, they don't believe you.
Getting her hand on it was Hart. That was good defense from Katie Lohman. Forced the out-of-bounds pass. It will stay with the Crimson Tide. But right now, this Guardians team seems to be struggling against the Crimson Tide are struggling against the Guardian zone.
2-3 zone is difficult if you can't extend the defense with shooting.
Thrush on the ball, gets it out to Zendejas.
They're set up the way they should be. They've got a nice movement in their post. There's
Zendejas hits one.
Freshman. There's one of the freshmen we were talking about.
I like the quick pull up there. Didn't have a lot of time. No hesitation. Just hit the shot. That was the best look Glencoe's had all day. And
there's the eye-level pass into the interior that's almost defends itself when you throw it.
McKenna Petrick is going to earn a couple of free throws.
Yeah, I've seen Wells play a couple of times. I watched him play a couple times last year, and Autumn Hart is kind of their go-to player, number one. I'm anxious to see her get some touches and make some plays out here.
So this is going to be a big emphasis, I would imagine. Got to make your shots at the charity stripe. Just the first quarter, but they really start to add up. In a game of two evenly matched teams, free throw shooting can play a pretty big part.
Here comes another freshman, Bingham into the game, Anna Bingham.
So that rebound was pulled down by Hart.
Well, I tell you, they're going to battle because the pressure is always keeps you in a ball game. If you can manage not to have the live ball turnover, you can keep yourself in the game with force and tempo.
Dixon to Hart, over to Denny.
Starting to settle down a little bit.
I think that was Hart who drew the foul.
That was Hart.
We'll get a couple of free throws. She's been active on both ends of the floor so far. Love to see it as a coach.
Great pace. It's a lot better than having to slow down, no teams pressing, walking the ball up the floor. Not fun for anybody. As I came in, I noticed a few college coaches here watching the action. So all these kids, I think, would like that opportunity to play in college, give them a chance.
Long in the second one, rebound Lohman. Lohman gets it back out to Hart. This is going to go off of Wells.
Both teams very fundamentally sound. Wells is right back into their 1-3-1 three-quarter court trap. They're trying to trap on the elbows near the half-court line and near the corners.
Nice entry pass, but a walk.
Yeah.
And I will say that was pretty good defense. She turned and was probably hoping to get a look, but would have been blocked. So that was good job staying with your man.
And the pressure.
Hart finds Dixon. Dixon to Lohman in the corner for three.
Beautiful.
Katie Lohman hits it. And that would be a good time to highlight the Lohman family. Her brother Max, her older brother, has the pleasure of calling him a friend. He played at Linfield and averaged 16 points a game his senior year. So a very athletic family.
I think I watched him in high school back in the day.
Would not surprise me at all. He played for, it was called some different school at the time, Wells was, but that's where he played. He was also an all-league soccer player as well. About 6'5" and can jump out of the gym.
Wow, that's an interesting combination for that kind of an athlete, basketball athlete.
Very physical player. And if you're physical, you know, it's great to play soccer and basketball.
I think soccer with anything is a great mix. Soccer wasn't as popular back in the 70s when I went to high school. Everybody played everything but soccer.
Yeah, it's caught on a little more.
Yes.
I've learned that you can like football and soccer simultaneously. People don't believe that, but you can. And there's a three in the corner off the mark. Rebound to Glencoe. Especially with the conditioning with soccer, too.
Yeah.
It's coming up and down the floor. We haven't had a lot of timeouts in this one, so you start to wonder who's in better shape.
And both teams are pressing.
Glencoe breaks it, but can they make something of it? They're breaking the press.
It just those are tough entry passes. Even if she catches those, she's going to have a hard time doing something. With
Pretty good look from the corner.
There you go.
And they needed that.
Anytime you get the ball moving inside to outside, and maybe back inside again, you're going to get much better looks.
Lohman's open again. Is she going to have another one? She will. This one's just short. Rebound inside by Wells. Out to Hart.
Nice driving kick.
Hart for three. Long. She follows her shot. Can't grab the miss. Here comes Zendejas the other way.
Oop.
And they're going to get Lohman for a blocking foul right there.
That's a tough call. She kind of maintained her vertical plane and tried to avoid the foul, but kind of an unusual attack move there. Zendejas is showing good minutes. She's come in and done some good things.
She hit a corner three, hits a free throw here.
But very early in her career, too. You don't really call freshmen once they get to the back end of the season, but this early in the year, they're still very much freshmen.
In a big tournament like this, get some great minutes.
This is a wonderful event. It really is. They didn't have this when I was coaching, and this is relatively new to the state. Great showcase. There's some really good teams. I watched some of the games earlier this morning. I watched Jesuit play. I watched South Medford play. South Medford's got a great
I was going to say they are very good this year.
Yeah, Tom Cole's an old friend. He's had some great players down there.
Kick in the corner. Lohman, no hesitation. Lohman just short. I like the look she's getting, though, and I like the no hesitation. She knows she can make those. We saw her drain her first. So I like the fact that she's not hesitating. Just keep going up with it. So in this game, open shots.
Yep.
Hard to come by so far.
Yep. If you get one, you got to shoot them when you get them. There's no point in working extra hard and get the same shot you're going to get late in the clock and have to rush.
So it's 14-10 advantage Guardians right now.
Really evenly matched contest. Take away those early turnovers by Glencoe, and I think they're right back in this ball game.
So Petrick at the foul line, drains her first.
Checking in for the Guardians is number 1 on Pahl.
She's a great, is that Petrick?
That is Petrick.
She's a great softball player as well.
That's another one of those sports that
I asked Coach Cow if she was interested in playing in college. He said, yeah, softball.
One of the best ways to judge hand-eye coordination is baseball or softball.
Oh, yeah. I always wish I played more golf when I was younger.
Something if you want to see me on the driving range, it's not pretty. I'll tell you that.
So top golf is not your thing?
I mean, top golf I'm better at. If you put me on a course, that's where it gets dicey.
It's never too late to learn, as they say.
Exactly. Got to hop in a lesson. That was a dangerous pass. Wells not able to steal that. By the way, Hart back into the game. Star players of Wells, and just like that, it's a one-point ball game, and they set up the press.
Yeah, and they're right into it. You can tell they're very well schooled. They get into it quickly. Reminds me of the old Oregon City teams.
Hart, who just sat down for about a minute. She's right back in the game for Wells. Here's Denny up top. Margot Denny kicks it out. There's a nice pump fake from Hunter. Now she's going to drive. That's a great pump fake drive. She got him to sell out on the shot, and she finished with the right hand. I don't think she got it off in time.
Great use of the shot clock and the game clock late, making sure they get a shot before the quarter. Get a quality middle drive.
And so I think Glencoe definitely settled into that game a little more because they were down 14-5 at one point, struggling to get a lot of rhythm on offense. They saw a couple go down. They got to the foul line. They were able to draw some inside. And I think they've definitely settled into the game more, as you said. Right. A couple of turnovers early, and they could be ahead right now.
Well, you knock down a couple of three-pointers, and you get a couple easy looks from the free throw line and a layup from a big post, and suddenly you're right back in the game because their defense has been outstanding. As long as they keep Wells out on the perimeter, I think they're going to be able to battle their way back into this game. Even though Wells hasn't struggled turning the ball over necessarily against that pressure, the pace of the game is kind of what Glencoe is looking for, is to up the pace of the game.
Wells, of course, plays in the PIL, their football team, back-to-back PIL champions. Haven't lost a game. Had the pleasure of calling them last season running the wing tee, but
they run the wing tee?
Sorry, pardon me. They run the power tee.
The power tee. Is that, I mean, what is that? Is that like a version?
No, it's an old school 1920s style.
Where they do all the faking
exactly.
and you don't know where
exactly.
They called that the wing tee back in my, is that what I said? That what you said?
No, yeah, that's what I ran when I played for Lincoln.
I'll be darned. Seriously?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Apparently don't call it the power.
Yeah, back in my day it was the I formation. I formation at Central Catholic High School. Tailback U.
Certainly, and still is tailback.
Yeah.
Central Catholic. And there's an and one. And that's exactly what Glencoe needed to start this quarter because now they're a free throw away from tying it.
We talked about that quick entry to an easy bucket for a post play.
And I think this is Petrick again.
Yeah.
In 1 second here. So I thought they gave her continuation.
It's not Petrick. That's. Oh, it is. There's two Petricks.
Oh,
my
are
goodness.
there? Okay.
It's McKenna Petrick.
There we go. So
McKenna's the softball player.
Okay.
There's a Brooklyn and how did I not see that?
Yeah, I don't know how I missed that, but
you and I both.
We both did, so I can't feel too bad about it.
Because I said that's a 2 in the front of her jersey, not a.
McKenna's been a headache to this Wells team, especially on their defensive side.
Yeah.
She's
now
finishing.
Glencoe's really settled in, Ben. They've really settled into their half-court defense, kind of figured out what Wells is trying to do, and they have all of them operating on the perimeter now.
Hart with her palms in the air. She's not quite sure who the travel was called on. I'm not either, but we're going the other way.
Okay, pulled out. That's a nice adjustment by Coach Coleman. I wonder how long he was going to stay in that extended defense. he's dropped back now into more of a half-court man-to-man. See, yeah, he went man.
Petrick has it up top, defended by Hart. This is a great matchup inside, Petrick versus Hart. Hart did enough there to not foul.
Great move, rushed her finish a little bit there.
Perfect version of defending without fouling and affecting the shot. We're going to have to reset the shot clock. I don't think it ever did reset. I called.
Go ahead, Ben.
I was going to say, I do scoreboard for the Rip City remix, and the shot clock person by far has the hardest job.
I was just going to say
you
that.
Were just, talk about it.
It's just a very difficult situation, especially when it's a newer. I mean, especially in the state of Oregon where people are new to the shot clock operation. It's a very difficult job.
You know, it's easy to get on people when you see it on TV, but
Right.
I don't criticize shot clock people anymore ever since I've seen it up close.
So I'm going to criticize you, Ben. You're the Rip City guy. If I ever see a bad one, I'm letting you know.
If you see a bad one on the scoreboard,
that'll be me in the top of the bleachers
yeah,
yelling, "Come on, Ben!"
Oh, trust me. I'd get enough of it from other from old coaches. It's a good gig.
Yeah.
Rip City remix. Cool to see them.
It's cool to be that close to the court, isn't it?
Oh, it's cool. You get to
Listen
meet the players, get to hear them talk. They got some characters, I'll tell you, out there.
I was lucky enough to coach with the LA Sparks for a couple seasons, and I worked with Kobe Bryant's dad one season and Michael Cooper, the legendary Hall of Famer, the other season. I coached Lisa Leslie in her last year.
Oh, man.
And when you go to a Laker game, it's a who's who of fans, just like it is at the Sparks games had the same bevy of celebrities that the Lakers games had.
I was going to say you watch a Lakers or Sparks game, but it's highlight 10 billion celebrities out there. And that was McKenna Reed hitting a triple to get Wells back out in front.
Big shot at this stage of the game. See if we get a quick 2-on-1 break. Ooh, I think she wanted to dump that one off. That was the choice.
It's a tough choice, you know. Had it there.
Now she drew the defense. She had the leading scorer of the team on her left and opted to pull up the jump shot.
Petrick couldn't quite get that one to fall. Now up court pass to Reed again. Reed dished it off to Hunter.
Glencoe's just done a really good job of taking away any of the easy looks. We haven't seen that backdoor cut that we saw in the early going.
Dixon at the point. Hunter to Hart in the corner. 10 on the timer. Dixon, right-handed dribble, back to Hart. Can she get inside? Nothing called, but she finished. That's a tough finish.
Nice move. See if we can get a strong side post player. Flashing post.
Bailey Thompson dishes inside. That would have been a tough finish, and it's off the mark. Rebound to Wells. And Hunter. Hunter out to Hart. Everything's going through Hart on this Wells offensive side.
That's a good point, Ben. They make sure she gets her touches. I'd flash her in there. She's got a smaller player on her. She's a big, strong body.
Just long there, but it's going to kick out to Hunter. So an offensive board.
Let's see if they get it down there again to her on the block. There she is. Oh.
Good
Pressure.
defense. But she broke it well.
Nice move.
That was Dixon.
Nice move.
Finish it with the left. I like it. Because she looked like she was in trouble near half court and then just turned it on with the left spin move and finished. And travel.
Really important lesson in keeping your dribble. You keep your dribble and you don't give it up against pressure. You become the decision maker and you're not forced into decisions you really don't want to make.
So Glencoe,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say Glencoe subs out their entire team. Four come in.
They look tired. He got them at the right time.
Now can they get some pace going?
That's the best way to do it. Transition threes.
Kira Thrush, the sophomore, with a big shot.
They're just hanging around, not letting them get too much distance. They really do a good job off the ball. They're dropping off the ball nicely and take away those easy cuts. Oh. Wow, contested.
Jamie Hunter, the senior. Seen her hit a couple now. Nice little left scooper.
that freshman again.
She's got, I think, 7 points now.
And a couple of nice baseline drives and kicks. There's the pressure. Bounce pass. Nice.
And you can't do it better than that.
No. Great use of the bounce pass. Way to draw the defense. Pass at the right time.
And bounce passes, some today's day and age, are underrated. They really throw the defense off. They make them work. Fundamental basketball, right? And that's
I've coached, I think, 6 players that played in the WNBA, and they probably still use the bounce pass because I harped on it so much. It just drove me crazy when they would throw entry passes at the eye level. Even in women's basketball on the pros, it's a struggle to throw you either want a lob or a bounce pass. The direct level pass is just way too easy to defend. So we try and lob from the center of the floor, bounce pass from the wing. Lisa Leslie was the MVP, I think, mostly because we had kids that could enter the ball to her that season.
Hart's free throw won't go. Rebound. Glencoe.
Big possession here for Glencoe. Nice weak side skip.
Contested shot won't go. Hart right there for Wells.
Only had to worry about the shot clock on one possession. There's that back cut. It's stuffed up nicely. Nobody's in foul trouble. The refs are letting them play today. So
2:44 to play in the half. 28-23 our score right now. Entry to Reed. Reed out to Dixon. Gets it to Hart.
There's that first time they've gotten that interior pass in there.
So Mildenberger will shoot a couple.
I wonder if that's the Mildenberger family that's from Central Catholic. There was a whole family of really good athletes named with the last name of Mildenberger that went through the Central Catholic back in the days.
Yeah,
long time ago.
And that's a name that's not common enough where you might wonder if there is a connection there. And Lohman's going to come back in for Reed, who's put in some really good minutes.
Yeah, Coach Cow is really substitutes liberally. Let's see if it pays off for him later in the game when his kids are a little bit fresher. They need a hoop here. They want to maintain contact.
30-23. And Wells comes away with the steal.
Not to harp on it. That was that eye-level pass from the top of the key that just is so easy to defend. If you just have your hands in standard defensive position, you barely have to do anything to defend it. Now it looks like they're man press. Yeah. See if they're going to try and get a trap. Oh,
that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And it is going to force a turnover.
You always want your back row players on the press to be closer to the ball line and further away from their own man so they can take away those long passes like that. They're in a ball line to steal anything that comes over the top.
So Petrick sitting down at the scorer's table. She's going to check in, and they need her in the game right now.
Jacking in for the Crimson Tide is number 23, McKenna Petrick.
So Petrick back into the game for the Crimson Tide.
Claire Dixon's been impressive today. She had that nice left-hand drive a couple of times. Oh, double dribble.
And you're on it.
Caught it a little late.
Sometimes you hardly see it, so sometimes I forget to look for it.
I jinxed her. I yelled, just was telling how well she was playing, and she dribbles right into a trap and turns the ball over.
The announcer jinx
Sorry,
is inevitable. It's going to happen. You know, it's our job to talk about the players. It's going to happen. Hart comes away with it. You know, we were giving Dixon a lot of credit for her left-handed finish. I think she's left-handed.
She's a lefty.
Okay, so
she's a lefty.
Still cool, but not as impressive as we might have thought if she is, in fact, left-handed. As is Hart, also lefty. Hart and Dixon kind of really bringing a lot of rhythm to this Wells offense at the moment. And another turnover.
Those live ball turnovers. Let's see if they can prevent a score against it. Looks like Wells has succeeded in speeding Glencoe up in the half court.
Here's Dixon out to Lohman. Lohman, a nice open look. Not quite going to go. Rebound to Petrick. Petrick, is she going to take on Hart? She pulls up. Doesn't get the roll. And it looks like nothing's going down for Glencoe.
No, they're really struggling. Those mid-range 6 to 8 foot shots are really tough shots.
A nice Euro step, just didn't get the finish. It should be Glencoe ball. It is. Lauren Devlin's going to check in. Going to give Margot Denny a rest.
Got every player. I think both teams have played every player.
I think they have. I'm looking on that bench. Everyone looks like they've been sweating a little bit. I think everyone's been at the game.
Little elevator screen.
Exactly.
Dump in good. I like the called set. Good job by Coach Cow getting him in something organized. Nice pass. Oh.
Take your time there. I think she rushed it a little too much. You'll see that.
Yeah.
It's going to take us to the half. A very good half, especially defensively for the Wells Guardians.
Yeah, very competitive game for both teams. I think Glencoe let it get away from just a little bit with those few loose half-court possessions, and Wells was steady throughout and basically found something. I think when Glenn pulled his defense back and got him out of that full-court, three-quarter press, they stopped giving him so many easy looks in the middle.
And I think that's going to be a point of emphasis for Glencoe is, just make the better entry passes, just fundamentals, and you can chip your way back into this game because, you're down 9, plenty of time left. You don't have to huck threes. You don't have to get out of what you're trying to do. But, just start out the second half strong and emphasize defensive possessions and try not to have as many empty ones.
Right. Well, we'll see what the halftime stats tell us. Are we going to...
And welcome back to the Holiday Classic here at Lincoln High School. Glencoe trails the Wells Guardians 32-23 after half number one. We're about to start the second half here in about 3 minutes. Want to get a couple of announcements in before second half play kicks off. She flies. Did you know that girls are twice as likely as boys to drop out of sports by the age of 14? Oregon's She Flies initiative is here to change that. We're here to empower girls to stay in the game, build confidence, and inspire the next generation of athletes and coaches. Together, we can create a community that values fitness and sports for life. Learn more about She Flies and how you can support at sheflies.org. So, it seemed, Michael, like that first half we were talking about some of the turnovers. Glencoe had settled into the game at one point. Then it felt like Wells found their rhythm, especially defensively. If you're Coach Sal, what are you telling the team?
If I'm Coach Cal, I'm telling them we have to be a little bit more judicious about the way we handle the ball against pressure. And we have to make sure that our entries are quality when we're trying to work that low post game. They definitely want to get the ball inside. They've done a good job of getting it in when they get it there, but if the ball's not going to make it to your post player, you're not going to score very many buckets. And Glenn is not going to come out of that zone unless he has to. So you've got to be a little bit more disciplined in the half-court offense against the zone. And they had 12 turnovers in the first half. You want to eliminate turnovers. Cut those in half. Live with 6. Try not to put another 12 up, and you can get yourself back in the game.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is going to go through. Remember, there are 2 Petricks, but I think McKenna has been very active. You know, when she's on the floor, she makes the presence known down low, both ends of the ball. She has some really good matchups one-on-one with Hart. And I think that, of course, you got to hit outside shots, but I also think you need a healthy dose of Petrick down low if you're Glencoe.
She got 9 shots up, and nobody else on the team had more than 4. So she's obviously their weapon, but they've got to find a way to get her the ball where she can do something with it. She only shot 2 for 9, and my guess is she's a much better field goal percentage shooter than that in a normal game.
Also, how much she can get to the line. I think she hit at least 3 of her 4 free throws. She might have hit them all. Pardon me, I can't remember all of the details, but she hit some free throws. And I think if she can keep forcing either some fouls or tough defense, getting to the line, that could be big in this game.
Right. And I think they're going to continue to go for it, go to her inside. You know, on the Wells side, you know, they're very balanced. You know, they have 5 players or 6 players that have scored points. Nobody scored more than 8, and everybody that scored has scored 3 or more. So they're moving the ball around properly. Autumn Hart is their kind of go-to weapon.
I've been impressed with how many people are comfortable handling the ball on this Wells team with, of course,
right.
Hart, Dixon, the lefty. Kenna Reed's had some really big minutes off the bench. Katie Lohman. And so it just seems like Mildenberger, can't forget her as well.
Right.
33-2 Hunter. Seems they have a lot of girls comfortable handling the ball.
Well, Claire Dixon's got 5 assists and only 2 turnovers in the first half, which is a nice ratio.
That is quite a stat line, 5 assists in one half.
I was just about to say, Glenn usually has a really good slob, we call him, sideline out of bounds play, and he went right into a double stagger pick and got Claire Dixon going to the basket.
That's the look. She wasn't quite able to finish, but that was a great move by Dixon. And, you know, it was goes down most of the time. Unlucky, but a great play.
And here's our first major adjustment. Wells is backed up into a half-court man-to-man, no more press.
What do you think about that?
I like it for them. They do better guarding less square footage. If you don't have to stretch out, you guard 40 feet instead of 90.
And I think Glencoe will live with that 28-foot shot all day.
Right.
Pardon me, I think Wells will live with that shot from Glencoe. You don't need to huck threes up. You want to get good looks. You want to get it inside, but that's a good look right there from Petrick.
Yeah, the early offense, quick threes in the half court are always good.
In Glencoe, one thing they are doing well of right now is getting some second chances. That's Thompson.
That's that early offense. You take that 3 in early transition, much greater opportunity for an offensive rebound. And they're going to need some buckets with the shot clock. With the shot stopped. I'm sorry, with the clock stopped.
There we go.
I had a rented tongue, Ben. Sorry, I'm not as glib as you.
It's only the first game.
Yeah.
Come on, Mike.
I'm gonna run out of energy. Somebody better get some food up here. We were just commenting they don't have concessions.
We could use some coffee and Cokes right now.
Somebody out there that wants to run to Costco, there's a fortune to be made here.
You're at Lincoln High School. You're gonna have a ball out here. So that's what Glencoe can't have is a couple of missed free throws.
Right. You've got to take advantage of the free ones. But they're still in their press. The 84 feet of hell is still in play.
Sticking true to their game that's on their jerseys. Dixon.
I'd like to see him actually put some trapping on, add a piece of trapping into that full court pressure instead of letting them just dribble up against one-man pressure. Send a second defender.
Agreed. Dixon following her shot and scores.
Dixon.
She's been doing a little everything on offense. You said she has 5 assists, and did she get another for assisting herself there? She followed her shot and finished
they
it.
Count them that way, but she got another rebound.
Yep. Pretty good look. It's going to be short.
There's the 2 people we asked for on defense.
Lohman, inside move, comes up just short.
All right, now you got a chance for early offense. Oh,
That's going to be a turnover over and back. Unless it was tipped, it was not. Over and back.
Anna Bigham's got the start in the second half. Freshman. And they got really good minutes out of Uvia Zendejas. I had to ask how to pronounce that name.
I think, yeah, she hit some free shit, 4 free throws
Beautiful.
for the 3, and right now it's all Wells.
It is all Wells. Sometimes you want to play a particular style of defense and it just doesn't match up well with the opponent you're playing. A little bit less pressure from Glencoe would probably give them a little opportunity to set a wall in that back line of their defense and prevent some of those easy drives to the bucket. There's a double team you like.
But it leaves Lohman open in the corner, and that's going to be a jump ball.
It's funny. It's a high school game only. Nobody can jump up.
Yeah, right. Yep.
They have to throw a ball out immediately.
It's classic when you see it.
Oh boy, he's just making it worse.
He's
I'm not gonna knock himself out.
I think I can get that.
Yeah. He's
if
literally
they
gonna
need,
knock himself
if they need
out.
me, I can get out there, and I think that's what this gentleman is saying too. It's like I can reach that.
Oh boy. We need to send this into bloopers, sports bloopers.
We might have
This
to.
is the best thing.
And it's being recorded.
Oh, there we go.
It's the loudest cheer of the day so far.
The underhand move. Rick Berry would be proud of him.
And I'm glad I didn't have to go out there.
That was a dated reference. Nobody out there.
I knew who he was. I knew who he is.
Berry.
I just didn't get the reference, but I do know who
Berry,
he is.
Underhand free throw.
Oh, was that who that meant?
He
Okay,
shot
there we
all
go.
his free throws underhand.
At about 90% as well, I believe.
Yeah, as did his son Brett Berry when he played at Oregon State. He shot him underhanded too. Changed him when he got to the pros. He went back to the.
Really?
Yeah, he took too much heat for it.
If it's going in, I
Yeah.
wouldn't care. And Dixon goes around the press easily. Lohman driving inside. A good look for Lohman. She gets the roll.
Penetration, Ben. If they give up that middle penetration, their defense is broken down. You've got to force them out, back towards the top. You don't want to give up the open straight line drives, we call them, straight to the basket.
They are going to call a foul here to the chagrin of Coach Coblins. But it will be 2 shots, and Wells has gotten out to a 15-point lead.
Yeah, we need to knock free throws down if we're Glencoe right now. Got a beautiful stroke.
She does, and she's going to need to keep getting to the line, keep putting them in, because right now her team's in a hole. I think Wells has done a really good job denying that entry pass that they gave up a few points with in the first quarter.
Walked away from it. Yes, you walked away from the line. You want to stand there and shoot it, not walk away too soon.
She seems very comfortable, this Hart, driving with both hands.
Yeah. She's right-handed, but she plays just as well with her left.
Okay, because I thought she was left-handed. That's how good she is with her offhand.
Yeah, Glencoe is just not rotating as well as they did early in the first half. They're struggling a little bit to get the rotations together. Nothing breaks your defense down faster than a straight line drive.
Van Dyke's going to check in for number 45, Maisie Dyke. Hart gets the second to roll in.
A little fist bump for emphasis.
Checking in for the Guardians is number 0, Hayden Jansen.
Hayden Jansen's going to check in for Wells. Going to give Dixon a rest, which she's earned.
So if we were going to point to a change in philosophy, that was
That's a great scoop finish.
It really was. That was beautiful. Wells backing out of that full court pressure, I think, has changed the whole flow of the game in their favor.
So Zendejas again. A needed bucket for Glencoe.
Yeah.
They have not had a lot of field goals in this half. Lohman with the left hand. There's Hart driving, kicks it back out to Lohman. Lohman's going to let one go. It's short. Lohman up.
See, I'm laughing for the histrionics after the shot.
You know, some days they're just not falling.
No.
You know?
You never want to let them know it upsets you.
No.
You want to just run back and
Nope.
you can cuss yourself out under your breath.
Exactly, internally. I will say, I think she's given some really good minutes, though. She's helped a lot on the defensive end. She had that nice little inside move to finish near the rim.
Well, a shot takes about 3 seconds, and you can't let 3 seconds of basketball affect the other 32 minutes of the game.
That's a good way to put it. Well said, Marshall. I like that.
Well, 45 years in the game, you pick up an idiom or two. You
pick up a thing or
cliche
two. What are you got to find your go-tos? So it's
all of them were yelled at me at some point or another. Somebody yelled them at me, and I remembered the ones that stuck.
Right, some of them stick when big ones. 39-28.
Yeah, we weren't the kinder, gentler coaches back in.
No,
my
I was
day,
just
man.
saying. I think back
they
in
were
your
maniacs.
day, it seems a little. They get a few charges nowadays.
Yeah, you might get punched out if you took a bad shot back in my day.
Yeah, you know, gotta say, I'm glad those days are gone, or I would have been punched out a lot. Right-handed dribble from Denny down near the corner. That's a good steal.
I'm telling you, that kid is giving him quality minutes. Great block.
Good block. Number 20, Malia Jackson, came into the game a minute ago and instantly making herself known on the defensive end. Good clean block from Malia Jackson.
I'm thinking Zendejas is going to see the court the rest of the night. They need her energy out there. Nice over-the-top lob on the inbounds.
They're going to keep it.
Glencoe used to be a state powerhouse. Back in the day when the legendary coach Mark Neffendorf was coaching them, Glencoe had won state titles. They had one of the greatest players in Oregon history, a young lady named Kara Braxton, who had a long career at Georgia and in the WNBA. Mark and I were contemporaries back in the early 80s. We were both Metro Conference opponents. I was at St. Mary's Academy, and he was at Glencoe.
First from Zendejas, long. So Glencoe has not been hitting their free ones in the second half, which you got to do when you're down.
Slow down, same rhythm every time. Much better release, much better result.
So it is a 10-point game. Wells has had a better half, but Glencoe in striking distance.
They're maintaining. They haven't put them away, so. We got to get her to put it in her right hand.
Denny on the drive.
There's way better
Denny
rotation.
kicks it out to Hart. It's a good drive. There's Jackson again.
Nice job. Nice job of fighting, pulling it away. What happened?
Timeout. Oh, it's called.
Thought we had a call there.
I was wondering, and you know, there are two games going on, so sometimes you hear whistles.
Exactly. Was that this court or the other court?
You know, it can be tough sometimes.
Glencoe's battled their way back into the game.
She Flies. She Flies is more than an initiative. It's a movement to keep girls and women active and confident through sports. From empowering young athletes to supporting women coaches, She Flies is shaping the future of sports for everyone. Let's make sure every girl knows she belongs in the game. Visit sheflies.org to get involved and help make a difference today. Sheflies.org. I think you made a really good point with Glencoe getting back in. You know, you'd want to be within 4 or 5 right now, so it's not ideal. But there's a whole quarter to play again after this, and so if you can build on that momentum and find out what works for you, because their defense has been pretty solid after the first couple of minutes after this quarter.
They just got to continue to rotate properly. If they take away those straight line drives that we talked about and force more perimeter play from Wells, and then, you know, take advantage of the open looks they're getting on the other end and knock down their free throws, they'll be back in this game by midway through the quarter. By the end of this quarter. Shoot, it's still midway through the quarter right now. For some reason I thought it was the end of the third there.
2:54 left in the third, and Glencoe is going to take it after keeping it.
I heard Kurt Gilsdorf say today that if you don't know what's on the scoreboard, you're not doing a very good job of coaching. So I better look at the scoreboard more often.
Almost stolen by Hart, and it's going to be taken away by Jackson, who draws. I think this is going to be a foul on Jack. No, I was going to say Jackson draws the foul.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Coach Coblins there. Came out of the timeout in the 2-3 zone, just a little wrinkle. And I'm sure Coach Kyle set up most of the timeout to what to do against the man-to-man they've been seeing. Steal a possession or two is important.
Dixon with the screen up top from Hart. Corner 3 from Denny. No good.
Nice cut.
That's
nice
a good block.
block.
Can they finish this? Can Zendejas finish? She couldn't quite.
Malia Jackson's giving him some really good minutes.
I can't believe they waited till the second half to play her. She's looked really good.
Yeah. She's got a big knee brace on. Maybe she's got a little minutes restriction with the brace.
Could be, because she's looked solid all her minutes.
Comes the other freshman back into the game.
Bigham, freshman guard. So here's Hart for a couple.
Can't get over how beautiful this gym is. Brand new facility.
You know, when I went to Lincoln High School, it was, we'll put it nicely, was not as nice as this.
You're a Lincoln grad.
I am a Lincoln grad, way back in 2018. Feels like a long time ago now.
Oh, my God, way back.
Way back in the day.
I think I have socks older than you, Ben. I definitely have some old uniforms from back in my coaching days. Now it's a 2-3 trap. Call that the 2-3 buzz.
That's a good spin. But can Glencoe convert at the line? Because that's what they've been lacking.
Sure have not been able to. Let's see what we've had the halftime stats. Yeah, they were 4 for 7 in the first half.
Drains the first. That's Peyton Chestnut. Reed giving Hart a breather.
Okay, well, this is an opportunity. He's got Dixon and Hart out at the same time.
So 1 of 2, and it's going to go to Wells.
Out of bounds, Guardians ball.
Oh, I'm taking it back. Dixon is in the game. Boy, we've got to get her the ball out of her left hand.
Jackson is fouled.
There she is again.
15 foul. Jackson to the line, shooting 2.
Long on the first.
Sometimes players just rush. It's almost like they're embarrassed to be at the free throw line. And they rush and have already defeated themselves before they get started. Players that struggled, I'd always make them do a specific formula. I'd say you're going to do this many bounces, take this many breaths, and reset your knees.
It's consistent.
Yeah, just to give them some sort of structure, because they have so many. It's like a golfer who has too many thoughts going through their head when they swing.
Don't have to think about it more than they
do
have
I breathe
to.
in or out on my backswing?
Nope. And Dixon cannot believe she missed that one. But Glencoe throws it away.
Just not a real good choice. That was a rookie mistake there. Didn't get her feet set, didn't really have an accurate target.
No.
I was big on all passes hit hands. We don't throw lead passes. We put the ball on hands and throw it hard enough that you don't need to lead anybody.
Yes.
It's not a football field, it's a basketball court.
Dixon spinning. Pump fake, there's Jansen in the game. Reed, back to Dixon for 3. Long. But it's off a Glencoe hand.
Nice crowd for the holidays. I'm looking around.
Well,
Early game on a Friday afternoon.
get it even bigger as we get into the I gotta say what I don't want to say playoffs of the tournament. You know what I'm saying? The winners bracket
into the
games.
bracket,
Yeah,
bracket play.
deeper into the brackets.
I think these teams are in what would be the second tier bracket. I think there's over at Franklin High School, I think the teams that I think are supposed to be the stronger teams
Yes,
are in the
you got
other
teams
bracket.
like Jefferson, Benson, Jesuit, those sorts of teams.
I saw South Medford, like
Yes.
I said earlier. There.
Reed again.
Nice.
That's her second 3 today.
Beautiful stroke again.
And if Glencoe needs to respond. Can't get the reverse to go. Dixon comes away with it.
They had him within reach, and still only a 14-point game. It's definitely not out of.
Dixon gets right back up after momentarily going down. And Glencoe's got to try to save that.
Yeah, they've got to go after the possessions. You want to keep the tempo moving. Oh, that soft pass across court is.
That's a foul on Jensen.
Guardians team foul. Payton to the line.
Coach Cow is telling them we don't want to foul perimeter players. We want to give space,
Brooklyn.
bend, don't break, and build a wall in front of them. Take away, force them to shoot those contested 2-pointers.
Glencoe needs to hit a couple of free throws. They hit the first.
See if they can get a 2 for 2.
This is Brooklyn Petrick. And that's the first time, I think, since first quarter, they've hit 2 at the line.
And it earned her a seat on the bench. Is that her that went out? Oh, doggone it.
So if Wells was being smart here, they're going to save the last possession. There's no reason not to when you're up by 12.
See if they can. Oh, there's a good steal. Look ahead.
Thought there might have been a foul in the backcourt. Wasn't called. There's only a second left. She does get it off.
Oh, nice.
It's in. Great end of the half, Petrick.
See if that gives them a lift going into the fourth quarter here.
At the end of the third quarter, the Guardians lead the Crimson.
Sports teach teamwork, leadership, and resilience. That's why Sport Oregon and She Flies are here to help girls and women stay active and inspired both on and off the court. With your support, we're creating opportunities for young athletes to build confidence and for women to coach and lead. Together, we can make a lasting impact. Learn more at sheflies.org. Qdoba Mexican Eats, with locations across Oregon and parts of Washington, proudly supports the Portland Interscholastic League Girls Basketball Tournament. Fuel your next event with our fresh and flavorful catering options. Qdoba.
Well done, Ben.
You know, I gotta say, if you ever go to Qdoba, I love their carnitas.
Really?
So I'd definitely recommend the carnita. I get the burrito. That's just me. You can get the bowl, but yeah, it's quite good.
I have not been able to do Mexican food in a long time. It's just a little bit too spicy for a man my age.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm a little heartburn intolerant.
Ah, if it makes you feel any better, I'm 24 and I take medicine for heartburn. If
Seriously?
it makes you feel any better,
you got
yeah.
some Prilosec?
I do. Indeed, I do.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the worst thing. That and I let him try and fix my teeth a while back, and it's been the worst decision I ever made.
I'll take advantage when the medicine works for me. I'll take
Brush
advantage.
your
of
teeth,
that.
everybody
Yes,
out there.
sir. Yes, sir. Just went to the dentist last week.
Yeah,
Never
take
been
care
more
of your teeth.
motivated.
My kids are all are well schooled in tooth care.
I don't know how
was
we
not.
got into this topic, but it started the fourth quarter. Just a good reminder for everyone, just dental health.
Yeah, it's already a big possession. Nice looking stroke.
And that's a big shot because Glencoe had a little bit of momentum.
They did.
That's 11. Mildenberger. Haven't called her name much since the first quarter, but she's had a couple of big offensive plays. Entry pass is going nowhere. It just wasn't there. Can Reed finish? Yes.
She can. That's nice. It's a tough angle to finish from.
So Wells stretches it out.
Yeah, and now they're really dropped off in that half-court man-to-man, just really almost taunting Glencoe to shoot that jump shot.
It's a good look inside, but a good block. Good pressure.
Yeah, Dixon's made tons of really good decisions. Well, there she goes. There's her right hand. I'd go into Reed right now. She's on a little hot streak. Oh, they're running her off a weak side stagger
And
pick.
here is Reed. Can she get her third? That one's no way.
Boy, twice in one game. All right, now let's see if we get the clown show again.
Oh man, I hate to say
I want to get my camera out.
I was gonna say I hate to say I'm cheering for a long one, but I think I am.
I think I am too. I want to see it bounce off both of their heads at the
And
same
I think
time.
Steve would tell you that if his son Max was here,
don't try and jump. I thought I
this
saw
would
him
be
going
no
up to
problem.
jump.
All right. Fun fact: Steve's son Max can jump out of the gym. I saw him windmill dunking a few days ago. So
well, I don't think his dad can, and I didn't want to see him go up and lose a hammy right
no,
there.
right. I was gonna say it's a little different than at his son's age. That's the it's been a while since I've seen that happen twice in one game, where the ball gets stuck there.
Okay, a little called set.
And a foul on Reed.
Glencoe's trying to run the old school triangle. They just haven't had much success getting the high-low action that the triangle sometimes provides. Been a well-officiated game. The refs have had almost no impact.
No, and that's how you like to see. If you don't know they're there, that means they're doing well. Yeah, I just like to take that time to compliment the referees. I was here earlier. You know, they had a couple problems with fans. They settled it well, and there was no more issue with it. So they've done a very good job.
It is such a tough job, and you know, as a coach, I was hard on officials, but I tried. Only got one technical in a 45-year career.
That's almost Superman-like. To
Well,
only get one technical.
mostly because you try and have a conversation and you don't scream. You know, and most of these guys are family men, and they want to do a good job for the kids. They have kids of their own, and they want to.
You want to set the example.
Yeah, and they want to have a positive experience, and nobody wants to be embarrassed at their workplace, and this is their workplace.
That's a brilliant mindset to have, and that's good. Just a conversation is fine. I baseball games. I was fine with coaches talk to me if they were talking, not screaming.
Right.
I think that's the emphasis. And
well.
Going to have an offensive foul here called on Glencoe. I think that goes against Petrick with a moving screen.
This crew works well together. Their mechanics are good. They're moving around the court properly, get the ball in play quickly. And neither coach is a baiter. They're not yelling and screaming.
Yes. Got to say at the pro level more at the remix, you see some more baiters.
Oh, for sure.
That's a good finish, and that, I don't want to say puts the game away, but it's up 17
it's
now.
going to be tough for them to score 17 points. They haven't scored 17 in a whole quarter yet. So,
got to start by hitting some outside shots, and they're just not falling for Glencoe. Wells definitely has been the better shooting team today.
But if you just took a snapshot of just an individual possession, both teams are still playing really hard. Nobody's given up. They haven't stopped trying to make the right plays.
That is going to go to Wells.
This early in the year, that's really what you want out of your teams. You don't want to see them hang their head and give up. Tons of basketball left in the season. All right, let's see what Glenn has. He's got a called set coming out of the, I'd see if something for Reed here again. Yeah, a little weak side screen.
got a foul. It's going to send Reed back to the charity stripe. Seen her knock down a couple of threes today.
Crimson Tide, second team foul.
So I'm sure Coach will feel comfortable with her at the line.
Shooting 2.
It's got a really nice stroke and moves really well. Very fluid motion.
It hits the first.
Doesn't waste a lot of time up there, does she? She gets it, dribbles, and lets it rip.
And there's some guys, player on the remix, who darn near takes the 10-second violation. I'm like, get it off, man. Get it off, get it off.
Nothing good can come of it.
No. The lane violation on your team, maybe, yeah?
Yeah, when we're talking about getting in your own head, that's all a mental.
When you think about it for 6 seconds after coming
Yeah,
down
who
here.
was the pro that they count off every time he's got the ball? Was it Giannis? I think it was Giannis.
Was it Giannis?
Yeah, that they used to count it off, you know, and try and get him shot violations. But early in his career, he'd take to 11, 10. You know, they'd count him up to 10, and he'd go over all the time. And finally, they started to call it, and then finally he fixed his free throw and doesn't do that to himself.
You're only hurting yourself.
Just 10 seconds of mental anguish.
Yeah, so as we can say today, don't take 10 seconds for your free throws.
Yes.
Get a nice,
Get
get
a
your little rhythm going. Keep it to 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 if you need, but keep it consistent, keep it nice. And 5:07 left, and Wells has really, they've had a great half, both sides of the ball. Glencoe's only scored 9 points in this entire half.
You know, they're getting the looks they want, I think, and as the season goes on, I'm sure they'll start to knock some of those down. I've really been impressed with Coach Collins' ability to adjust on the fly, trying different things, bringing different players in, attacking with different players. He told me before the game Autumn Hart was kind of his go-to player, and Autumn's been a little bit slower today, but he's really gotten great action out of McKenna Reed. And he did tell me you never know which Reed you're going to get. He told me that before the game. If she decides she's going to show up, she can be a great player.
She has shown up
and
today.
She has shown up.
Going to give a brief preview of our next contest. Will be Carruthers from California taking on Oregon City. One team had to travel further. I think you can guess which one.
Yeah, that's going to be a good ball game. We watched Carruthers shoot around at halftime. Carruthers looked impressive.
Yes, they've won almost all their games so far.
They passed the eye test.
Yes. Here's Hart with her right hand. Floater off the glass.
Nice.
Got it.
The PIL is strong, is much stronger than they've been in years past. These last few years, they've really come up.
Love to see teams like Jefferson and Benson being some of the top dogs.
I think Grant is better this year.
Yes,
too.
they are. Grant, and now formidable team like Wells. It's good to see the conference come alive.
Nice patient drive.
Is this going to be?
Second team foul.
Let's see what that one was. White 11.
Okay, I was going to say I think.
Yeah, he didn't make it real clear on the call, so.
But it was the right call. It wasn't.
the right
Yeah,
call.
it was the right call. I was just a little confused. Lohman and Dixon checking back in. (54-36).
Yep. Wells still in the half-court man. Glencoe still in the motion triangle.
Hart almost took it away. Good rebound, just got to put it away.
Yeah, just 2 good attempts. See if Dixon slices right to the bucket here. She looks like
She's going to get an open look. It's long. Reed right there, but has it taken away. Petrick does a good job using her body. She's going to have to pass this one up. She wisely does. She follows her shot, gets the board.
Nice pass. Okay. Oh.
Some days it's just not
Yeah.
going in for Glencoe.
Yeah, he caught her on the bunny hop there.
And I think frustration.
I'm frustrated for him.
Yes, yes.
You know, they've worked so hard to get the looks that are quality looks, and just then it becomes contagious, Ben. You know how that is.
Yes, it does. Missing one time, the
like
Lakers,
yawning.
when the Rockets missed 26 straight threes against the Warriors, you cannot tell me there was no mental component to
It's
that.
absolutely. It's like when you're in a room full of people and one person starts to yawn.
Exactly.
Suddenly everybody's tired. Yeah, didn't come to a stop there.
I will say, I think some of these players feel. I watched the NBA; they're not calling it there. You know,
No, she would have been better off with the long step, Euro step there
Absolutely.
instead of the Oregon crossover. We call it 2-foot step through.
Denny playing defense. There's a tough shot, won't go, but she follows her rebound. Glencoe trying to get a second opportunity. Dixon comes away with it. They're not letting Dixon go.
I think she ran a half a block there with the ball. She's out on 18th Street right now.
She does draw the foul.
You know what else is new to the game, Ben, is nobody has the matching shoes anymore. Everybody wears their own cool shoes. Back in our day, it was always matching.
Team, wear the
Team
same
shoe.
thing.
Now
It's gone out the window today.
Yeah, now everybody. I watch Marco do the cool painted shoes and give them all the NBA guys. He's at some TikTok, Snapchat, internet
Whatever it is
sensation.
these days. Yeah.
But I just watched him make 4 pair of shoes for Giannis and I can't even say his last name.
Antetokounmpo, I'll try.
Thank you, Anta could very good. I can't repeat
Antetokounmpo,
it.
something
Yes.
like that.
But he gave him 4 pair of size 20. No, what size was it? 18 shoes. They looked like gunboats.
I was going to
They
say
were-
clown shoes. I'm not
Yeah,
fitting
but
into
they were
those.
beautiful.
Yeah, out there I've seen green, blue, pink, white, all red with
Yeah.
stripes, everything with the shoes.
I was noticing that on the Glencoe team we have an array of various
rainbow
shoes,
out there.
brands. My son works at Nike, so I'll give a shout out to Nike, and our good friend Elliot Hill just became the new CEO of Nike. Came back after a long career there, and they brought him back and made him the new CEO.
That's quite some. You know you're doing a good job when they bring you back
Yeah.
and make you the CEO. Inbound here. So if you're Wells at this point, you just don't want to do anything, well, just to say dumb. You don't want to
Yeah.
have dumb turnovers, forced shots.
Take your time.
You
get
have a
good
35-second
quality
shot
looks.
clock. You can use the 35 seconds.
Yeah. Oregon basketball survived the slowdown era, thank God. And there were some of us that never played that way, that never took advantage. You watch an Oregon City game back in those days, and you might have thought there was a 10-second shot clock the way they played.
That'd be a fun game to watch,
Oh,
though.
it
Just
would
10-second shot clock. Corner 3 blocked. Good contest. Dixon gets it back. She's just been everywhere.
Yeah, she's had a really good game. If we were giving players of the game, I think
Yeah.
I might give
Have
it
to
to
tag
her.
it to Dixon.
Out of bounds, staying Crimson Tide.
I'm anxious to see Oregon City in our next game. I have not seen them in a couple of years. They've gone through a
Pioneers.
couple coaching changes. Yeah, one of the state's truly great teams, national caliber.
Guardians' third team foul.
Have to read up a little bit more on that. And that's the thing, when we have 7 games in a day, you don't get to dive into one team as much
Right.
as you want. You got to do it more before the game. So I'll definitely dive
Yeah,
in with
some
our
of them I
break.
know, some of them I don't know as well anymore. I used to know all the coaches and know all their teams and know all the players.
I'd be impressed if you knew every coach, considering how many California and Washington teams there
Well,
are. in
I
this
know
tournament.
a lot of coaches, but I don't know all of these guys anymore. When you're a college coach, it's your job to know all the coaches, especially that come to tournaments like these. So you want to have a working relationship just to aid in recruiting. Even on the years they don't really have a recruitable player, you still want to make contact with everybody. For the one time they might have one, because there's always another Juju Watkins floating around out there.
Who played in this tournament, as did Tahina Pow, Cameron Brink. Timeout, Crimson Tide. 30
Is the
seconds.
clock not running?
It's been a long
Yeah,
quarter.
it's been a long minute, from 3 minutes to 2 minutes.
Really has.
Judo Mexican
And I think Oregon City and Carruthers that get Nancy to get out there and start their shooting.
Okay, somebody has opened the door in here because suddenly it got cold.
Yeah.
Did they turn on the AC, or Ben, what did you do? Did you tell
I
them
don't
we
know.
were hot up
I
here?
flicked this little switch down. I'm kidding. I definitely felt the draft as well.
Well, it's crazy, but I really think Glencoe's a much better team than their record indicates. I think this might be a loss for them. It might drop them to 1-6, 1-7 maybe.
It would drop them to 1-7, but
they're not they don't play like a 1-7 team.
no.
They're organized. They're trying to do the right things. They've got a system.
They were ahead at one point in this game. Yeah.
So when you're building a program, you still got the kids playing hard. Nobody's hanging their heads. You're doing the right thing.
Exactly. You got a young team. You don't want them to hang their heads.
Right.
Live and learn. Get experience in this tournament against a good team like Wells.
Yeah, and if you're playing at this time of the year, your kids are willing to come on what's a break for most students. There's a nice Euro step and a bucket. That.
Denny with the basket and heading to the line.
Oh, Margot Denny came in to give.
Get the and
beautiful
one.
move, yeah.
She's
Nice.
practiced that routine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
She had a beautiful
Beautiful.
release. Back cut. Oh.
She's trapped.
Oh. Ooh.
They're going to get Denny for a
Wonderful
foul.
call. We're certainly not going to get caught criticizing the officials at this point.
Of course not. 123, not with a minute 23.
Absolutely. That's
Never.
spectacular. Best call.
Best call that I've seen in a long time. 123 left, 57-38.
Our producer sitting next to me agrees. Wonderful call.
Wonderful call.
Thanks,
Everyone
Steve.
agrees. Everyone.
Oh, boy. If they could have made even half of those 2-footers today, this would be a much closer ball
different
game.
ball game. Here's Devlin. Devlin inside.
Nice in and out.
Back
Get
to
it up.
Devlin. Lohman's going to drive. Tough shot. Not going to go.
She's still yelling at herself. No, she's better now. Let's get a shot up. Yeah, give him that 3-foot cushion. Tough entry pass there. Tough angle.
Lohman does a good job. She can guard up top and also the post player. She's got good athleticism, good height, so she's makes a really good impact on defense. She's grabbed quite a few boards today as well.
Guess you got to like that the refs are still calling the game. All of us would probably like it to end, but the players out there want
Yeah, exactly.
They still want to get their calls. And
They're
get
there
their
for the
name in
players.
Scorebook.
So
There she goes.
something rare today for Glencoe, seeing a free throw go down.
It's true. It's true. Wells, really impressive performance. Nice workmanlike, nothing spectacular, just went about their business and got a nice W.
And that's long off the glass. They do force a steal.
Okay. I'm going to have hypothermia by the end of 4 games here if we don't figure out where that's.
I've got a sweatshirt, but it's.
I have a coat.
It's okay.
I was teasing, but
Okay.
it just suddenly got really
It
cold.
did. Something happened. First free throw, good.
Once I became a senior citizen, once I get the senior citizen discount, I have to have heat. It almost simultaneous.
Just been rare where Glencoe's made both.
Oh, it's sad to watch.
So many points left out there.
Right.
And a foul.
I think we've had more fouls in the last 2 minutes than we've had in the last half put together. So seriously, I think
Not
we've
that
had-
far away from exaggeration. It might actually, yeah.
Yeah, we probably had 5 or 6 fouls in the last minute. So
There's 28 seconds to play. First one missed.
yeah, she's going to get this one. We're going to go down and
Just long.
Nice rebound. They space the floor, and let's get one good quality look.
Good to see everyone getting some good playing time
It's great
today.
minutes for the younger players. Use some freshmen out on the floor right now for both teams.
It's going to be great if a freshman could get a
Nice
bucket.
move.
And that was Kira Thrush, sophomore. She hit a 3 earlier today. Glencoe staying with the press. This should be Wells' ball. It is. And a whopping 2 seconds remain.
All right, no fouls, no turnovers. Let's just get it in.
Clock started late, but it'll do it. So Wells, a well-played game. They were ultimately the better team, and they win at 57-42.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Wells's pace and the steady play. They didn't have a real high run, but they didn't have any low points. I'm really anxious to see this team from California.
Carruthers versus Oregon City. The Pioneers should be a great matchup. Coming up next, teams are going to get a little bit of time for a shoot-around before we will start. Should be a really fun matchup, and we'll be here for it. We're going to take a quick break.